Go ahead, Scott.
All right. Hey, Brian. Talk a little bit about just the intensity you guys came out with, the way you set a tone early, and as parcel of that, what Rothrock did on setting up that first goal and really terrorizing them back in front of.
Well, that's Paul. For those of you in Southern California that don't watch a lot of our games, that's Paul Rothrock in a nutshell. I think it started with the kickoff. We wanted to get the ball down the field. We wanted to play in their half of the field because we knew Greg was going to have his team ready. So it was critical for us to try and get off to a fast start. And so, that whole sequence, that whole play, Di Rosario, I'm sure we'll talk about him more in a minute, but, his hold up play, getting guys involved, his shot, Paul keeping the ball alive. And then you see Pedro with his technical ability, his technical quality on the strike, started obviously the game off in a good way for us.
Hi, Coach. Congratulations on the win. A couple from me. First, just since that Club World Cup, your team has been on an absolute tear. I think one loss in 14 games. What has it been in that stretch or about the Club World Cup that kind of spawned that run for you guys?
Well, obviously playing against the best club teams in the world raised the level, the standard of our play, the preparation, the lead up to those games. We as a coaching staff, the backroom staff, physical staff, we all dug in and made sure that all the details were taken care of so that the players could have the best performance possible. I think that brought the whole organization to just a more focused point. And then we just continued because those results weren't wins, but they certainly spurred us to play better and prepare the team better because, we didn't want to take 7 against PSG.
And then you mentioned it, getting back to De Rosario. Just what did you see from him and the determination? He could have had a hat trick tonight, but eventually does get that goal, determined to do so.
Well, he's a young player with a lot of potential. So he's not the finished product. Yes, he could have scored in the first half, maybe in the second half, another one. But look, the goal he takes, I mean, come on, that's a pretty darn good goal. I've seen it only on my phone. I'll look at it on my computer when I'm flying back on the plane. But, for him to flip the ball over, turn around, bum rush a couple of guys, get it in the back of the net, I mean, that's a pretty impressive play.
And lastly, from me, book a CONCACAF Champions Cup spot and a chance to lift Leagues Cup. What do those two things mean to the club?
Well, we're the only team that's been in 2 Leagues Cup finals, Las Vegas in 2021 and now this one. So we're proud of that fact. The 2021 final didn't go our way. Leon beat us, but we're, going to play. We are going to play against Messi at our home field in front of 65,000 people. And I would seriously counsel everybody should be there because it's going to be an entertaining game.
Brian, you're going to play that game without Nuhu, and I know you certainly have the players to step up and go into that, but just losing him to the red card, your thoughts on how that played out?
Well, I don't comment on the refereeing, but in this moment, I will tell you that I watched the replay, and everything with VAR, it's such a useful tool. But then sometimes in these situations, you can slow it down and you can stop it at the actual moment where his foot was a little high, but he clearly hit the ball, half a second before he even came close to Peck. And Peck sold it pretty good. But at the end of the day, we don't control the referees. Nuhu maybe could have stayed out of it, but obviously in the heat of the moment. But I'm not holding anything against Nuhu. I thought it was, just one of those circumstances where VAR is going to come in and make that, make that a red.
Brian, you had so many absences for this game. So how special is not just to win, but to dominate as you guys did tonight?
Say that one more time.
Yeah, you have many absences, like Jordan Morris, like Ross.
Oh,
White,
absences.
like,
Okay.
Sorry about that.
No, that's okay. Lo
So,
siento.
No worries. Okay, in
So
Spanish.
a lot of
you know,
absences. Yes.
So how
Well,
special?
we're missing, yeah, Jordan Morris and João Paulo and, Albert and Ryan Kent and everything. But, we have a very deep roster. Craig and the guys up in the front office, have put together a deep squad, and we have needed every single one of the players. I mean, if you look at the team we ended with tonight again, and then the team that, beat Sporting Kansas City 5-2, we're playing a lot of young kids, a lot of local kids. And so, we're very proud of that as an organization. The message has always been next man up. And, again, missing Nuhu, we'll do the best job we can. Next guy has to step up and perform well.
Last one for me, Brian, is you've got Miami now in a chance to win a trophy. Initially, what do you see in that game? What are the things that you guys have to do to neutralize them and to take advantage of what you do?
Well, obviously, we're going to have to, limit their star players to, half chances, if that's possible. We'll obviously have to keep some possession because we don't want to chase the ball for 90 minutes. And then, we'll have to create some chances against them. So, we'll start working on that. Probably the coaching staff on the way back, on the flight back. For the players, we're going to let them enjoy this moment. And we'll work on Miami when they come back in on Friday. We're flying tonight, yeah.
We'll now take a couple questions on Zoom. Jeremiah Oshan, go ahead.
Yeah, Brian, congratulations on the win. There at the end, after you went down a man, it still seemed like your defenders were pressing forward, especially in the midfield there. What can you just say about the play of some of these young guys that you entrusted to sort of be that first line of defense there when you had to see out the last 10-ish minutes?
So the midfield, we're back line of 5 when I made the last sub with Kim Keehee, but Danny Leva, Obed Vargas, Alex Roldan, and Snyder. So Alex being the senior guy, Obed has a lot of, minutes and experiences. Danny Leva was his 100th appearance for the club. So he's ticking up. Snyder Burnell, plenty of smarts, and he looks the part. So very, very proud of all those guys, the effort that they put in. Kalani playing right back, Reed playing left wing back, sandwiched behind, 3 experienced center backs, Jackson, Yaimar, and Kim Keehee. Great way to close out the game. And then, to top it off, you got Andrew making the saves that he needed to make and managing the game. So very proud of the entire squad.
Jada Evans, your question is next, please.
Thanks. Congratulations too on the win, Brian. You had mentioned earlier about Messi, and I wanted to just kind of get your thoughts. It's a pretty incredible, I guess, in summer of soccer at Lumen with some of the teams that you've been hosting, and also the fact that you guys have hosted a lot of titles at Lumen too. Can you kind of just, give your thoughts on that, on how things have worked out for you guys?
So perspective, I think, is a word. As you were having your question, came to my mind. Yeah, my perspective on this, being a local kid, having seen a lot of big events at the stadium, championships and everything, finals. We're hosting the greatest player. Pele, okay, we can make some comparisons, Ronaldo, okay, whatever. But Miami's coming to Seattle in a meaningful championship game. Followed playing against, Paris Saint-Germain, who is arguably the best club in the world, Simeone and Atletico, Botafogo. It's been a great summer. I'm hoping to make it an even better summer on Sunday, I hope, Jada. And then it's just a long runway into the World Cup that we're going to be hosting in 2026. And, the way the team's playing, what they believe, maybe a deep playoff run as well.
Nico, we'll go to you.
Hi, Brian. Congratulations on the win. I just wanted to talk about Pedro de la Vega and how he's really flourished over this season. If you were to pinpoint a turning point in his form, whether it would be his haircut or a specific goal, what moment would you say was the moment for Pedro?
Well, I'll ask him. My personal thought on Pedro is that, you know, he had to compete, he had to fight for his spot. He always worked hard in training. So when his opportunity to come on the left-hand side of the field came, he was ready and he was prepared. You know, Jesus was making his name in the right side of the field. We had Paul and Ryan Kent, you know, so Pedro's made the most of his opportunity, and we're very pleased about that. But the kid never gave up, worked hard. That's why he's on the field.
Nico Moreno, your question, please.
Thank you, Brian. Congratulations on the win. Yemer Gomez-Andrade got to 200 appearances. It seemed like he was a huge part of today's win in that defensive battle. Can you talk about him and what the total defense was able to do to neutralize this LA Galaxy attack?
Well, the whole group played well. Ymar played excellent. Jackson was excellent. Alex, when he was back there, knew who when he was on the field. The entire group, that's a very established back four, very experienced back four. And, you know, they were terrific tonight. We knew LA was going to be coming out with a little bit more intensity. And so they were prepared for that challenge. You know, you add Obed and Christian, you know, screening balls in front of them where Royce liked to play. And, you know, I think Pack and Paintsel, I mean, they switched sides maybe 5 or 6 times the whole match. So you know that they were frustrated.
Jeremiah, we will take your follow-up as the last question.
Yeah, Brian, you know, this was the site of last year's Western Conference final. It went a different way. Does this feel at all like you have some sense of, I don't know, closure or redemption for last year?
No, because I thought we were in the game last year. It was one mistake, and Ricky was good enough to slot the ball in. But, you know, we wanted to host MLS Cup last year. I think our team was deserved of a chance to host it. Again, it's credit to Greg last year. His team was, you know, champions. So you give him a ton of credit. But this year, there's no, you know, added revenge factor. I know there was some talk about how he and I have gone up against each other for many years. I like Greg. I think he's a great coach, but you know, I'm not using that as blackboard material.
Great. Thank you.